In recent months, a trend has been forming in the technology industry that many analysts are already calling the beginning of a new phase in the development of artificial intelligence. The transition from digital models to the physical presence of AI in the real world. And while not long ago such ideas sounded like futuristic concepts, now more and more sources indicate that Elon Musk and his company xAI are preparing a project capable of radically changing the very understanding of how humans interact with artificial intelligence. Moreover, this is not just about another robot or an updated version of Tesla's Optimus, but about an entirely new category of devices, the so-called physical embodiment of Grok, as it is already unofficially referred to in circles close to the company. According to several insiders cited by industry publications and analysts, Musk in recent months has been actively discussing within his companies the idea of large-scale deployment of a network of next-generation humanoid robots that will not simply perform tasks, but will effectively act as carriers of intelligence at the level of modern language models. This is a fundamentally different approach. If Optimus was originally positioned as a working tool for factories and logistics, the new project is aimed at interaction with humans at a higher level, from consulting and management to decision-making. According to leaks, this concerns robots that will be directly integrated with the Grok model, an AI that is already developing as one of xAI's key products. But while today Grok exists in the form of a chatbot and software system, in the new format, it will receive a physical body, sensors, the ability to move through space and interact with the surrounding world. This effectively means that artificial intelligence ceases to be just a tool in a smartphone or computer and becomes a full-fledged participant in the social environment. It is interesting that such a concept did not appear suddenly. Musk had previously repeatedly stated that the future of AI is not just algorithms, but systems capable of acting in the real world. However, until recently, this was perceived more as a long-term perspective. Now, apparently, the company has moved to practical implementation. Moreover, according to sources close to Tesla, part of the production capacity is already being prepared for reconfiguration to manufacture the new robots. The key point here is scale. This is not about dozens or even thousands of devices, but about the potential production of hundreds of thousands of units within a few years. This radically changes the economics of the project. Whereas humanoid robots were previously perceived as expensive experimental developments, in the case of xAI and Tesla, the focus is on mass production. It is precisely this that will make it possible to reduce costs and make such devices accessible not only to corporations, but also to urban infrastructures and, in the future, to private users. The issue of price also deserves special attention. According to preliminary estimates by analysts, the base version of such a robot may cost in the range of $20,000 to $30,000 at the start of production, with a subsequent decrease to the level of $10,000 to $15,000 as mass volume is reached. This is comparable to the cost of a mid-range car, making the device potentially accessible for businesses and government structures. At the same time, more advanced versions aimed at managerial and analytical tasks may cost significantly more. But far more important than the price is the functionality. By design, these robots are intended to serve as an intermediary between humans and complex AI systems. They will be able to conduct dialogue, analyze data in real time, make decisions based on vast amounts of information, and at the same time be physically present next to the user. This opens up entirely new use cases, from work in government and business to participation in educational and medical processes. Some insiders even claim that within xAI, scenarios are being considered in which such robots could take on roles as consultants, managers, and even participate in political processes as analytical systems. Of course, at this stage, this sounds like an extremely ambitious idea, but given the pace of AI development, such scenarios no longer seem impossible. Now, the main question is how Elon Musk intends to implement production at such a scale. And here the key role is played by Tesla. It is its experience in mass car production that could become the foundation for creating a new industry. According to sources, the company is already testing lines adapted for assembling humanoid robots. Moreover, we are talking about maximally automated processes where robots themselves will participate in the production of other robots. This creates an exponential growth effect. The more devices are produced, the faster volumes can be increased. Such an approach is already used in the automotive industry, but in the case of robots, it may reach an entirely new level. In essence, this is about creating a self-expanding production system. In addition, Tesla has a unique advantage: vertical integration. The company controls key components, from electronics to software, which allows it to introduce new technologies faster and reduce dependence on external suppliers. This is especially important in the context of global competition, where every week can matter. It is also important not to forget the software aspect. Unlike traditional robots that operate according to predefined scenarios, the new devices will continuously learn and update. This means their functionality will grow over time, making them not just a product, but a platform. If we try to assess the potential impact of such a project, it becomes clear that this is not just about a new device, but about the formation of an entirely new category of technology. Just as smartphones changed communication and the internet changed access to information, humanoid robots with AI could transform the very structure of society. However, along with this come questions. How ready will people be to interact with such systems? What restrictions will be introduced on their use? And how will the labor market change with the emergence of millions of intelligent machines? For now, there are no clear answers to these questions. But one thing can be said with certainty. If the XAI project truly reaches its stated scale, it will become one of the most significant events in the history of technology. And it seems we are only at the beginning of this process. If we assume that such robots indeed begin to appear massively in cities, offices, government institutions, and even in the everyday lives of ordinary people, then we will effectively get a new layer of digital physical employees who do not get tired, do not require breaks, are capable of processing enormous amounts of information, and at the same time act in the real world. And here a key point arises, already being discussed by some economists. This is not just automation, it is the replacement of entire categories of intellectual labor. Moreover, according to sources within XAI, a strategy of gradual deployment is being considered, in which the first batches of such robots will be directed to the corporate sector and government structures, where their effectiveness can be demonstrated as quickly as possible. These could include analytical centers, large companies, logistics hubs, administrative institutions, anywhere that requires information processing, decision-making, and interaction with people. And only after that, when the technology is refined and its economic viability proven, will gradual entry into the mass market begin. And it is at this moment that it will become clear that this was not just another project by Elon Musk, but the beginning of a new era in which the boundary between artificial intelligence and physical reality finally disappears.